Hello there, and welcome to the Bold Badass Business Show, where we bring you badasses from all over the world. And today, you all, I'm thrilled to have Dr. Shellie Seyfarth in the room. And she's an executive coach, a leadership strategist, and the founder of Emerging You, where she helps high achieving women ditch their doubt, claim their voice, and lead with unapologetic confidence. I love that, Shellie. We're so happy you're here with us. I got to meet Shellie on the New Media, aka Podcasters Cruise, and I was immediately impressed with her energy and her sense of humor, definitely, and her magnetic energy, and wanted to have her on the show. So I'm thrilled to have you here, Doc Shellie.
Thank you so much, Dr. Barnsley. I felt the same as soon as I met you, that just instant connection and fun energy. And I just loved meeting you. It was great. So thank you for having me.
Yes, and today we are talking about a very important topic because for many people, they are shrinking and their businesses are shrinking faster than Antman. And it's time for us to show the way out of this so that our folks don't have to shrink and don't see their profits shrink, and we can continue to grow with our businesses. You know, I know you've heard it said, as Tony Robbins said, the more you grow yourself, the more your business grows. And this is so
Absolutely.
true. Yeah, it's what we're about here on the Bold Badass Business Show. So I want to ask you this first, um, Dr. Shellie, and that is, or I'll call you Doc Shellie since you have that here. That is, when did you know that you were meant for this mission of helping people live with, especially women, with unapologetic confidence? What was the moment that you knew?
That is such a great question. Thank you. I was raised in a family that was, I'm 57 years old, so a long time ago, but I was raised by a mom who was like, you do anything you want to do. You don't follow the traditional path. I had a teacher in high school that was like, if you become an administrative assistant, I will murder you. And so I very early on had this clearing, if you will, to do things outside the norm. And I fully embraced that. And then in my career, I worked in a very male dominated world when I first started. I was in quality reliability engineering. I'm still recovering from that. Um, but I was often the only woman in the room, and I was treated so differently because I was a woman.
Yes.
And then I
Yes.
saw women not treating other women very well. And I was like, we should be banding together and rising up together and embracing each other. And I just saw so many people that were beat down by the environment around them. A lot of people who were told to sit down and be quiet, and they did. And I was like, no, we all have a voice that needs to be heard. So I want to do something about it. So I made that shift out of engineering into the people side of the business, and I've never looked back.
And that's quite a trajectory right there,
Yeah.
you know, from
that was
being
that
in
was a
that.
hard left turn.
Woo, man, you were like, wow, ice on the road. Let me do a quick 360 here.
Yeah.
But how powerful, because you went from that male dominated environment of engineering to really working on what some people would call the soft skills. And you and I know that the soft skills are the reason we're still in business. You know, all
Absolutely.
about relationship.
Yes. The relationship, the way we communicate, the way we show up. Like,
Yes.
and I know so many brilliant women. And I work with all people, but I really focus in on women because traditionally we have been told to sit down and be quiet. And I'm
Yes.
tired of sitting down and being quiet. I'm not going to do it anymore.
Exactly. It's the reason I left academia is I did not do well having to be quiet, not being outspoken. That just wasn't going to work.
Right.
And I knew, I'm not going to work this hard and then have somebody just bash me when I'm up for tenure because I have
Right.
been an upstart.
Right.
Hmm.
Right. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what would you say, are the ways that we can tell that we're really not using our voice? What are some of the ways that we can see that? And of course, one of them, obviously, that we imply in this title is through your business shrinking, your profits shrinking.
Yeah. Definitely through, your business, maybe not even shrinking, but also just being not where you want it to be. And I think that internal dialogue is a really good clue of you're questioning yourself, you're doubting yourself, you're asking yourself, can I really do this? Yes, you can. And you're letting other people's a lot of time, what I've found when I've been trying to grow my business or change my business is people are saying, are you sure you want to do that? I could never do that. Recognize that says more about them than it does about you. What you're doing scares the shit out of other people. Pardon my language. Can I swear on your podcast?
Yes, you can. Shit, yeah. Shit, yeah, Shellie.
So like it says more about other people than it does about you. They're scared shitless because they could never dream the dreams that you have.
Mm.
And when you can recognize that is empowering. You're going to change the world when you can do things that other people don't even dream about.
And so one of the reasons we've got these naysayers, I'm hearing in what you're saying, one of the reasons is because they're just scared shitless of what we're doing and they want to shut it down. Because
Exactly.
it's intimidating.
Yeah. Yeah. When other people are stuck in the corporate doldrums,
yeah,
and they see you living your life in a way that is you're proud and you're happy and you're however you define success, and you're doing it, and they're like, damn, I'm stuck over here, but they can't even fathom doing what you do. So to that point, it's really important to surround yourself with people that do what you do, that will support you in what you do. And sometimes people don't want to do that because they think there's too much competition, right? Like a few years ago when I was really getting into all my business and my podcasting and all that, I would have never dreamed that I'm going to meet Dr. Barnsley Brown and be like, I want to be on your podcast. You should be on mine, because we circle the same people, right? But there's thousands of
business for
people
everybody.
out there. We all have space. We all have room.
Yes. And it's not a territorial. We don't need to go pee on our territory, Shellie.
Exactly.
We really don't. We don't have to do that. That's for dogs, everybody. Those of you who haven't listened to the show, you know that I love dogs, right? But we are not dogs. We don't need to pee on our territory. There's plenty of business for everybody.
Absolutely.
And somebody's going to be attracted to me for particular reasons and attracted to you for particular reasons.
Exactly. So, there's room for all of us.
And
we should all be helping each other out and growing each other. And it's a beautiful thing when we can do that.
Yeah. So I guess we come to that critical question, and maybe we're getting to it a little early, but I have the feeling we'll be able to talk about a lot of stories around this. But why are people's businesses shrinking faster than Antman? And they don't even know it. They're not even aware. Aside from that territorial fear, any kind of fear is going to shrink our businesses.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of things that go into that. I think some of it is self-doubt. I think some of it is, do I really belong in that room? Some of it is we're just not asking for the business. I heard a great story from one of my clients the other day, and she was sharing when she first started her business, and she does marketing things, and a friend of hers hooked her up with her father, who was a very wealthy businessman, and she went and did her pitch. She was really nervous and super awkward, and her friend checked in with the dad later and said, hey, what did you think about that? And he said, it was awful. She never asked for my business. She went through this whole pitch, all these things that she could do for him, and never said, do you want to hire me?
Or how about we get started?
Yeah, she never asked that question. He was like, everything she said was great. He's like, I would have signed on the dotted line, but she never asked. And as women in particular, how often do we not ask the question? Because we fear the no.
Yes.
Don't fear the no. The fear is the no is data.
Right.
I love a no. Tell me why. Is it not right now? Is it never? Is it what's the no about? Dig in. Don't put your tail between your legs and walk away.
I love that. Yeah. Yes. What does the no say about
Yeah.
that person? And what does the no say about you? Because what I hear, I've been reading Grant Cardone's book, Sell or Be Sold. It's a really good
Oh,
book.
yeah.
And what your friend did, she basically wasn't sold on her own abilities, because if
Exactly.
she had been, she would have asked for the sale,
Yeah.
right? And so it really wasn't about him being sold. He was.
Yeah.
She wasn't sold on what she was offering to him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
And
how
how many
often
times do we
do we
do
do
that?
that as
Yeah.
women?
Yeah.
It's like we've been socialized to think about everybody else and to consider, we've got to be a good girl, we should be a nice girl, be a sweet girl, whatever.
Yes.
We've been brought up with these antiquated ideas of how women should be that can really hold us back, because if we want to be the nice girl, the sweet girl, the one who doesn't rock the boat at all,
Yeah.
then we aren't going to ask for the sale. We aren't going to confront somebody when, for example,
Right.
we know we could help them and they're thinking they can't, it won't work, whatever.
Exactly.
We've got to buck up, buck up, buttercup.
Exactly. Suck it up, buttercup. It's funny. You said the word nice, and I hate when people tell me I'm nice. I am kind. I am not nice.
You're
I
what?
feel like I'm kind. I'm not
You're
nice.
kind.
I
I'm
feel like
kind too. Yes,
when people say you're nice, I feel like you can just walk all over me. I don't want to be nice.
exactly.
I'm kind because I can have a brutal conversation with you and you're gonna walk away going, God, that felt good.
Kind but firm, kind but
Yeah,
direct.
exactly.
And this is really
Exactly.
important. So what I'm hearing is that people aren't asking for the sale. That's one of the reasons that their business is shrinking. And we added to that, they're really not sold on what they're offering. They're not really committed to what they're offering and believing that that's the right solution for that person. And what other reasons is their business really shrinking?
I think some of it comes to confidence as well, which is kind of what we were just talking about, but realizing that confidence doesn't come from inaction. You've got to go out there and do the thing, and then your body will recognize, oh, we can do this. So I'm sure you know the book The Body Keeps Score,
Yes.
right? One of
Good
my
book.
favorite books. I love that book. But confidence grows when you stop waiting for permission. And it's
Hmm.
like some of us just sit back and wait and wait and wait. Stop waiting. You're not going to gain confidence until you go out there and do the thing. So if it's growing your business, figure out that plan and go do it, execute on it. Just sit back and wait.
Take action, action, just some action, even a 5-minute action.
Yeah,
If you're finding it
exactly.
hard to do anything, take a 5-minute action. And, people can't believe this sometimes, but I can be absolutely unmotivated at times. I'm sure you can too,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
There's just some days that we can be like, ugh, or we're preoccupied about something, or we're concerned. We have some concern about ourselves or our loved ones. And in those scenarios, it can be very hard when our mind is preoccupied to work. But I have found that if we can create one little thing that we do, one little thing,
Yeah.
go put up the Christmas tree. I just did that actually, right?
Did you?
A little bit earlier in a window of time
Nice.
I was like, let's put up the Christmas tree
Put up the
now.
tree.
Let's just do it now. Or
I love
find
it.
something that you can do. Send a text message to follow up with that person,
Yeah.
or make a phone call, but something that you can do that is in the direction of your vision, something that you
Yes.
can do that is moving you any little bit, tiny bit closer to your goal. And sometimes we feel like sloths. Really,
Yes.
how they move, and it's like, oh, it's so painfully slow, but at least they're moving.
Right. And I think that's really key. And I think knowing the direction you want to move in, I see so many women entrepreneurs who want to do everything. And so they're so busy trying to do everything that they're not getting where they want to go. And in fact, they're letting things slide. So their business isn't growing. Their life is stagnant. They're not doing the things that really matter. So being able to pinpoint in on what is it? What's that one thing I really want to be doing? And really growing that one thing and doing it one thing at a time instead of trying to do everything all at once. The more, I don't know, there's some, I forget what the philosophy is, but like the busier we are, the more we're going to do, but are we doing the right things?
Mm.
Like I know people that take all sorts of classes because they want to do this and they want to do that and they want to do this. So they take all the things and they do nothing with it. And they're
Right.
spending all their time taking classes and workshops and trying to gain more knowledge. Meanwhile, they're not working on their business.
In fact, that's an elaborate form of procrastination.
Yes.
What are we going to do? Let's take another seminar, read another book,
Yes.
go to another class.
Yeah.
Elaborate form of procrastination. It's one of the reasons, actually, Shellie, that I have my clients every day. They must report what their revenue generating activities are. They must report 3 to 4 specific RGAs. Some people call them IPAs, income producing activities, but they must report these and by text, and either they get a heart or they get a thumbs up. If they get a thumbs up, that means they need work. A heart means yes, you're good to go.
Yes, sister, you got it.
Thumbs up is like, it's okay, but how can you make it really a revenue generating activity? So you say people are being busy, but they're not being busy doing the things that will keep them in business.
Exactly. And one of the things that I really believe in is rest. I'm not great at it myself. I'm still a work in progress. I like to be busy. I do a lot of things. I do a lot of things for my business. I do a lot of things for my clients. I'm also super into pickleball, which takes up a stupid amount of time, but I love it. But I'm also really good at taking a beat. It might be 5 minutes. It might be a half a day if I'm super overwhelmed and exhausted. Because when I can clear my mind with some really purposeful rest, whatever that looks like. For me, rest is sometimes doom scrolling for 20 minutes. It might be watching a movie. It might be going for a walk. It might be playing with my dogs. It might be playing music. Whatever that rest is for you, that just gives you the mental clarity to take a break. When you come back at it, you are energized, focused, and ready to get it done. Rest is so powerful. And I think we're not taught to rest. We're taught to go, 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 go.
Right. And go, 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 go. If you go, 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 you'll find out that you've gone somewhere maybe you didn't want to go, 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 go.
Exactly.
You've gone, your get up and go has gone and went in a direction you didn't want.
It went left and you wanted to go right.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree with you. And then we're thinking, well, where am I? And what am I doing?
Yeah.
How do I get back on target? No wonder things in my business have been shrinking because I've been heading in a direction that really wasn't fruitful.
Yeah. And then when we get off track like that, the self-doubt comes back. How did I get here? Why did I do this? And we start questioning all the things we did that got us there. Just recognize you got there and now you know where you are. It's data. We can do something about it.
Right. You're in a dead end. Now let's turn around. Let's find the street again.
Exactly. I think, that self-doubt and the sometimes the questioning of ourselves, the imposter syndrome, all that is your nervous system reacting. It just tell it to be quiet. Take a couple steps. I loved your, take a 5-minute, do something, right? That can shift your nervous system and that can really help you propel yourself forward for where you want to go, where you want your business to go, what you want your life to be like. It's a beautiful thing when we can take control over our nervous system instead of our nervous system controlling us.
Yes, because it usually hijacks us.
Absolutely.
Into fight, freeze, fawn, or, any of those. So we usually get hijacked by it. I was talking about that with someone for an episode that's coming up. And, we do get hijacked by it.
Yeah.
And then it becomes very difficult to get back to where we were. and where we want to go. So what are some other things that cause us to shrink ourselves other than the self-doubt and not doing the right things, not putting the time in with those revenue generating activities that will keep us in business? What are some of the other things that we can look for and stop? Since our business is shrinking, we don't even know it. Oh my goodness.
I think just you can have self-trust in yourself and know that you can get there. And I know a lot of this ties back to the self-doubt, the confidence, being told to sit down so many times. Stop believing all that nonsense and
Mhm.
trust yourself. That could be hard. It's something we're not often taught, you know? So really think about, you can handle it. You like shift the self-talk in your head. So much of our self-talk is negative, and that's natural. We're human beings. We want to always fix stuff, and we think fixing stuff means we have to identify all the crap that's wrong in our lives and our businesses.
Mm.
Focus on what's good, what's going well, and what can you do better, and have the confidence and trust in yourself that you can do it even if it doesn't go perfectly. Who cares? Fix it. I think that's a big thing, is we want perfection.
Yes.
It's got to be right. It has to be perfect. I can't make a mistake. You can. You're human. We all make mistakes. And if you can tell, I'm a big data person. I've said the word 100 times probably already, but it's data. When we make a mistake, it's
Yes.
data, and how we handle it and what we tell ourselves, the story we craft when we make a mistake is all the difference from shrinking back or growing forward.
Mm. So let's give people a concrete example, because I think that's so important. It's what will either cause us to shrink back, the story we create will cause us to shrink back or to grow forward.
Yeah.
So let's say we have a client who tells us they aren't happy with our service that we provided. It didn't get to them fast enough, whatever. We didn't provide the service fast enough. So, and that client is critical of this and upset with this. So, how do we respond? How do we respond and shrink? And how do we respond and grow? What are
Yeah.
some examples?
That's such a great, I love the scenario that you set up, right? Because I can go back to when I first started coaching, right? I was coaching before I knew what the hell coaching was. It was
Yeah.
like, and when a client would tell me no, or they weren't happy with my services, it was such an internal attack. And
Mm-hmm.
it was like, oh my God, I effed this up. I shouldn't be doing, I mean, all the self-doubt, the stories I can craft, whew, they're fast and they're furious and they're not good. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm probably doing this to all my clients must hate me. All of them must hate me. Even the ones that are paying me good money. I must not be doing a good
Mm-hmm.
job for them. And
Mm-hmm.
it builds and builds and builds. And now I go, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Let's talk about what's not going right for you. It's a quick question, and it's a conversation. And that conversation, even if they still don't want to do business with me, it sucks, but I have data that I can now work with, because they say something like, I don't like your coaching style. Okay, cool. I'm an awesome coach, but I am not the coach for everyone.
Right.
I'm a high D on the disc scale. I'm an ENTJ. Like,
Mm.
that doesn't work for everyone. Okay, cool. So like what, and then I'll ask some questions. What could I have done to get to this point earlier? Because we've now spent however many months together, and now you're telling me you're not happy. So
Mm-hmm.
should I check in earlier? Like, where did it start to go wrong? So I'll just lean in and ask a bunch of questions. And if at the end they still want to do business with me, cool. And if we're gonna wrap it up, cool. Like, I've fired clients for less.
Well, you could say I've been fired by better people.
Yeah, that too.
Terrible. I've been thrown out of better places than this. Well, yes, I hear you, and I like that question about, well, let's figure out what's not going right for you, because that
Yeah,
also puts the responsibility back on them too.
absolutely.
It is a two-way street, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I often do check in with my clients, through the process to say, hey, how's this going? Is there anything we should be doing differently? But yeah, and sometimes it's just not going to land right with a client, and that's okay. It doesn't say anything about you and your abilities, but we can learn from the experience. And I think that's the big mindset shift of not letting it beat you down and learning from the experience, right? No
Becoming
regrets.
curious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Wonder where that person is coming from, that this is what's coming out of their mouth.
Yeah.
Let me be curious here.
Exactly.
Wonder. I wonder. Let's try to understand what this is originating from.
Yeah.
And when we can substitute curiosity for feeling criticized, then we can actually have an open conversation.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's a really key point, is not feeling criticized and being able to get curious and engage in that conversation.
So it's interesting because when we feel that somebody's shooting us down with our voice, right? Telling us to be quiet in some way, shape, or form, or don't talk so much. Just, keep it under wraps, right? How can we combat listening to that, Shellie? How can we, because really that is critical.
Yeah.
In that case, it's critical because it's going to depress, repress, suppress our voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm big on
do
journaling.
Mm.
I often joke that my pen is my best coach. Right?
Mm.
And so when I start to, I call it looping or spiraling, like when I start to go down that rabbit hole, if you will, I get out my pen and my journal and I just start journaling. And it always starts with a question. Why am I feeling like this? Why am I thinking this? And then every question that I ask myself, I have to answer through that process, which is a really powerful thing to do when you're journaling, because you'll come up with a lot more questions as you start to write. People always think, oh, I can't journal. I don't know how to do that.
Mm.
You're asking yourself questions all day long. Why did I do this? Who does this? Why do I live like this? Why is my business not? Answer those questions. Every question that you're asking yourself is a powerful insight when you journal on it. It's a beautiful thing.
Love that your pen is your best coach.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And it's really interesting when we go back and read some of the stuff we've written.
Oh, yeah.
Months or years later.
Yeah.
It's wow, look at that. And many times the issue is no longer there. But
exactly. And like, it's kind of cool to go back and look at that too, because you can see the growth that you've had. And you think, I used to think that about myself.
Jeez. I think I'm a bold, badass bitch now.
Exactly.
I never thought that about myself. Yeah, absolutely. We can change our scripts.
Yes.
That's what I'm hearing you say. We can change our scripts.
Absolutely.
The scripts that we tell ourselves about what things mean in our life and about who we are. Right?
Yeah.
And do we have a script that's shrinking us and shrinking our business?
Exactly.
What kind of scripts can shrink our business really super fast?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think there's a script around I to be everyone to everything, so we don't have boundaries.
Woo! I have to be everything to everyone. The script of no boundaries. Woo! Guilty.
Yeah.
Guilty. Everybody put in the chat.
Yeah.
Put me. Be honest.
Yeah. Boundaries are really powerful things to have, and they can help keep us on track. I think so many of us think that boundaries are selfish. They are not. They are not. Boundaries are not for other people. They are for ourselves. And so when we come in with that mindset of I have to be everything to everyone, we don't have time to work on our business because we're trying to do everything for everyone else. Setting those boundaries and setting those time boundaries, those relationship boundaries, conversation boundaries, business boundaries is a very powerful thing when we can flip that script.
So we flip the script of I have to do and be everything to everyone. What are some other scripts that'll really make our business shrink super fast that you can think of?
I just kind of go back to that self-doubt and the questioning our abilities. And I think people confuse willingness with action. Like you have to be willing to do the thing, whatever that thing is. If you're taking small action, meaningless action, you're doing all the things, like what are you willing to change? What are you willing to do differently? That's a script that we need to change versus I can do it all. Cool. That's not getting you anywhere. Stop doing it all. What are you willing to do differently? What are you willing to try differently? What are
Mm.
you willing to fail at?
Mm.
I mean, I don't want to fail at anything, but I got to be willing to fail at something because if I'm not willing to fail at it, I'm probably not willing to try it.
And you're not willing to succeed at it either, you know?
Exactly. And
Right.
maybe that's the question. What am I willing to succeed at?
Mm.
Like, that's a good question.
What am I willing to succeed at? And, what am I willing to give over to somebody else so I can spend my
Yes.
time where I really need to be spending my time?
Yeah.
What am I willing to either let go of altogether or
Mhm.
give to someone else if it really does need to be done so that I can
Yeah.
put my time and energy and focus where my biggest vision is?
Yeah. That's powerful.
It's so powerful because I see women getting shrunk down by the mundane
Yes.
things, right? And I've always said, you'll laugh, Shellie, but I've always said a clean kitchen floor is not your legacy, ladies. When I speak to an audience of women, seriously. But how
I
often
love
are
it.
we pulled down to those
Yeah.
mundane things like I've got to do the kids' lunches, I've got to make sure I've got everything in order for Thanksgiving, I've got to do
Yeah.
this, I've got to do that, I've got to clean the house. And we're just sucked into mundane.
Yeah.
Check off the to-dos
Mhm.
lists.
I had lunch today with a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in a while, and she's recently moved. She has a son that's on the autism spectrum, and he's in his first year of college, and so a lot of things have changed for him. And she said, I asked him to keep clean the kitchen floor the other day, and she's like, and I got home from work, and I was like, mm. And then she's like, you know what? It's good enough. I was like, I'm so proud of you. Because she would have been the person that would have taken an extra hour and gotten on her hands and knees and scrubbed the kitchen floor the way it should be done. And she was just like, I don't have time for this. It's good enough. And I was like, wow, I'm so proud of you. That is amazing. But really, like, how many times do we let someone else do something for us and then we're like, that's not how I would have done it. It's okay. It's good
Right.
enough. We don't need to have the perfectly clean kitchen floor. That's not your legacy.
Or maybe it really isn't good enough and we need to get someone else who can do it the right way.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we need to let go of someone who's been working for us. I let go of somebody this week, and it was just, I did not have the energy to train this person in a simple task. And it was like, if this is what's going to happen with a simple task, I can't imagine what's going to happen beyond that.
When it's complicated, yeah.
Yes, I'm just going to go beat my head against the wall immediately. So we've got to also realize when there's not a good fit.
Yes.
Okay.
So important. And I think that's true in life and in business, right? I think, the whole hiring of help. I like to hire things out that I don't like to do. So I have 2 dogs. They're very large dogs. I hate cleaning up the yard after them. I have hired this wonderful human being. She's the 3rd poop scooper that I hired because the first 2 weren't doing a very good job. And I was like, I could do it half-assed myself. I don't need to pay you to do it half-assed, to your point. I hired this woman. She texts me before she shows up. She comes every other Wednesday, does a beautiful job. She even cleans up the dog toys that they've destroyed.
Wow.
So I'm like, I pay her some tips because she does a great job.
She gets tips because she does a great job.
Who knew poop scooping would be such a thing that I'd be picky about, right? It's like, if I don't want to do it, you need to do it way better than I would.
And it needs to be sanitary. So,
Yes.
Well, I love that you give her tips when it's a good job. I just recently had an
Yeah.
experience with a family member who was taking care of my animals while I was out of town, and there was a lot that wasn't taken care of well when I came back. And I said, you really need to leave a place better than when you found it. And when you
Mhm.
do that, you're going to be given tips.
Yeah.
You have to earn the tips.
You got to earn them.
Got to earn them. They don't just
Exactly.
come out of nowhere.
Exactly. Speaking of earning a tip, this was really wild to me. Several years ago, I had a client that I was working with, and at the end of our we did a kind of a pre-work kind of thing for 60 days. And he loved everything I did, thought I was the best consultant and coach he'd worked with, also decided not to hire me. And I was like, cool, that's fine. 2 years later, I got a check from him, a very large check that
Mm-hmm.
said, the 60 days I spent with you changed my life and changed my business. This is a percentage of everything I've earned since you and I spoke. He never hired me, but he gave me a huge check because of the conversations we had. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool.
I love that.
Right? That was awesome. I was telling my friends about it, and everyone was just floored. And I thought, that's pretty cool that I had that impact on the guy and he never even hired me. But we spent 60 days working on a couple things, and it was no big deal to me, but it meant the world to him. And I think that's something that we also have to recognize, particularly as women. We are not always going to get that feedback that, oh, you're so good at what you do. This is so great. This is life changing. You're not going to get that feedback sometimes, but you never know the impact that you can have on another human being, another person's business, your own business, by the way you show up in the world.
And we may never get that feedback,
Exactly.
like you point out. So we have to know, we have to have that locus of value inside ourselves.
Yes.
To keep going no matter what. I recently got something from a colleague of mine from University of Edinburgh from years ago when we did our master's degree there. And he said, I haven't heard from him since then, and that's back in 88, 89, 89.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 1989. So I get this message and he said, I was just talking to my son and I was telling him about how much it meant to me when we were talking about critical theory. And I was really worried because I didn't understand it. And you said, you have really good judgment. Don't worry. You just don't have the language for it yet. And he said, that kindness, I will never forget your kindness. And this is so many, I don't remember saying that. I don't. I mean, it sounds like something I would say, though.
It totally sounds like something you
Because
say.
I said, oh, don't worry, it's all bullshit. You just don't have the language for it yet.
Yeah.
That was the word. Anyway, forgot that piece, but that does sound more like me. And you just don't have the language now. But that kindness had stuck with him, and we just never know what kind of impact we're having over and over and over again that we'll never hear back from someone.
Yeah.
But we can't doubt that our light and who we are does impact others.
Indeed. Yes. Yeah.
Does. And
100%.
if we want to stop shrinking, we need to get around who? The people who see that light.
Yes. Yeah. Surround yourself with people that make your light shine brighter, and you help their light shine brighter. It's when we shine, when we rise together, man, we are unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
We should just be lifting each other up, especially in the crazy world we live in right now.
Oh my God, yes. Cray with capital K. It's definitely cray out there.
Yeah.
There's so much and so many people in turmoil, and there's so much of a need to comfort others. I was talking to someone earlier and she was telling me about how lonely she felt. She was an older lady. And I was saying, I understand. I said, sometimes I feel really lonely too. I get it. I was just telling her, and I think just to realize that we all have a shared experience sometimes in life, and it's okay. Whatever we're going through, there's someone else who's going through it too, or they've been through it.
Yeah.
And or they're about to go through it. And we can just be real about it. We can
Mm-hmm.
be real, you know,
Yeah,
and we can address whatever's going on. It takes boldness, doesn't it?
indeed. Indeed
Shellie,
it
it takes
does.
some crazy boldness to do and
Yeah,
say what we need to do and say, and
yeah,
to stand up in this on this planet and speak for the truth of what we stand for.
yes.
You know,
Yeah,
I don't stand for all the shit that's happening with people being deported who are citizens
right.
even. I
Yeah,
don't stand for this. I don't stand for all the hatred and misogyny and racism. I don't stand for that. I
no,
stand for the unity of people, that we all have similar needs,
right.
and we strip away the skin, we're all the same.
Absolutely.
We stand for
I I stand with you in that. Absolutely. I live in a community that is um about 50% Middle Eastern. So it's we had some protests and things over the weekend, some from some folks that think they all should not be here. And I'm like, I have neighbor, like they're lovely human beings. Can we just stop this? Like, if you're an asshole, I don't like you. I don't care what color your skin is, what gender you are. I don't care. I like nice, good, kind-hearted human beings, and we come in all shapes and sizes and colors. I don't know why people can't get that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
we do. And we're all valuable.
absolutely.
Every human voice matters, which is why we're really talking about this today, is because we want you all who are listening not to shrink your voice. We
Right.
want you to be loud about what you're committed to. And we want you to keep speaking it and standing for it, even when it seems like it can never happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to keep on. You know,
Keep
I
on keeping on.
keep on keeping on. I think about, people saying to Eily Wiesel, why do you keep shouting about the Holocaust and everything that happened, and why do you keep, writing about it? And he said, I keep writing. And they said, you're not going to change anybody. And he said, I keep writing so that I'm not changed.
That's powerful.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Mm. So,
Wow.
sometimes we may feel like we are a voice alone over the Grand Canyon.
Right.
you know,
Like
Hello, is
the
there
only
anyone
echo you
else?
hear is yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are, I do believe that that's when we have people come in to help us, to assist us,
Yeah.
people who are meant to be in our plane of being, who are
Yeah.
meant to be around us. So I guess
Mhm.
I would say to everybody listening too is think about, who do you feel expansive around in your
Yes.
life? Who do you
Yeah.
feel like expands your energy? And then compare to, who do you feel like you have to shrink your energy around so that they can be comfortable?
Yeah.
Because that latter group, we do not want to be
Right.
around.
And that is such a key thing that you just said. Where are you shrinking to make other people comfortable?
Comfortable.
You are willing to put your own comfort aside to make someone else comfortable.
Mm.
Think about that. You're doing damage to yourself
Hmm.
to protect someone else that probably doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, maybe not even that they don't deserve it. It's just that they don't care.
Yeah. And a lot of times that comes from that lack of boundaries. And when we don't have boundaries, they benefit other people, not ourselves.
Mm.
And then we start to put boundaries in play, and people are like, whoa, what are you doing? You mean you're not available to me 24/7 like you used to be? No, I'm not. Like, people resist when you have been boundaryless and you start to set them
Mm.
because they've made your lack of boundaries about them.
Mm. Yeah. Wow. Wow, Shellie, well, you have given us so much to think about today in terms of who we surround ourselves with and what we spend our time on, and our purpose on, and what not to spend it on, what not to waste it on. I love what
Yes.
you've shared. And we have that time in the Bold Badass Business Show where we give away a wonderful gift. And these gifts are found, you all. You can find not just the gift that Shellie's going to give us, Doc Shellie, but all the gifts of all the presenters, all the people who've been on our show, the guests, are at bit.ly/free from Dr. B, free from DRB. Let me repeat that, bit.ly/free from Dr. B, DRB. I made it rhyme to make it easy. And you just put in your name and your email. We don't share it. We don't sell it. We don't do any of those slimy things. And you will be able to access all the gifts of everyone there. So, Doc Shellie, what are you adding to the gift vault?
So I'm going to add a really cool 2-page document of all the kinds of things that you should be journaling about, some journaling prompts to help you get over your self-doubt, reclaim your voice, and stand in your strength.
Woo! Get over your self-doubt, reclaim your voice, and stand in your strength. Well, that's a power trilogy right there. And these journal prompts will be in the freebie vault, the Bold Badass Business freebie vault at bit.ly/free from Dr. B, DRB.
Free from Dr. B. I love it. Thank you, Dr. Barnsley. I love talking with you, and what a gift you are to your listeners. So thank you for having me on your show.
And you've been an even bigger gift to the listeners today, Doc Shellie. But really, this has been an amazing episode that has given me much thought, things, much to ponder. And I'm sure those who are listening are going to go back and listen to the whole thing, because when you do, it gives you some very clear answers and very clear questions that you can ask yourself to get yourself in a place to grow big as you grow your business. Absolutely. Well, everybody, I know today maybe you don't feel like a bold badass. Maybe you've been beaten down a little bit by this week and you are thrilled that it's Friday. Yeah, thank God it's Friday. So maybe you're not feeling like a bold badass, but I know you are, because you've tuned in with us today. And you matter. We do this show because you matter. Your purpose, your vision, why you're here on the planet matters deeply. And anyway, I'm getting teary, Shellie. Anyway, that I can forward you having what you're here to have, well, that's what I'm committed to. And yes, and I know you are too, Doc Shellie. And,
absolutely,
no matter what's going on, we've got to stand and we've got to speak that truth, which is that you matter and you have a vision and you have a purpose that only you have. And that is where your bold badassery lies. So everybody, it's been an amazing thing. We got teary today. Oh, well, that's good. It's part of life. And Shellie, so wonderful to have you. We'll have to have you back again. Everybody, keep being a bold badass, even if you don't feel like it. And I'll see you next week on Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 p.m. Pacific.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.